المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته المحيين الجليل أجمعين أعضائهم نتبرك الله. اللهم صل وسلم وسلم صلوات عليه وعلى آله في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة ورجال وحافظا وقائدا وحسنا وكريما حتى تسكنهم أرضك توبا وتمتعهم فيها طيبا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله. It is the sacred month of Shaban, the month of Rasulullah, and a month when we are heading towards Laylatul Qadr. All of this intense program that we have, we start from Rajab, continues with Shaban, all Ramadan and Mubarak, is to proceed to get to Laylatul Qadr, we have to start from Rajab. Rajab is an intense program in prayers, in fast, in adhkar, in recitals. Sha'ban is comparatively easy. That what is highly recommended in this month is fasting. And also there are some adhkar that we have, like for example, Astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah, 70 times in the morning, or daily 70 times. Astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa huwa ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, al-Hayy al-Qayyum, dhul jalali wal-Ikram, wa atubu ilayh, again 70 times during the day. And la ilaha illallah wa la na'budu illa iyyah mukhlisina lahu ad-din wa law kariha al-mushrikun, 100 times daily. This is 1,000 times in the month. So this is required for this month of Sha'ban. Apart from this, we have prayers for Thursday, 2 rak'at at night. After Surah Al-Hamd, 100 times Ikhlas in both the rak'at. After that, again 100 times Istighfar. These are the prayers that we have. In addition to these prayers, we have 2 salawat. One is salawat Sha'baniyah. The other is Munajat Sha'baniyah. Salawat Sha'baniyah twice daily, one midday and once at midnight. Munajat Sha'baniyah daily once, if you can. Munajat Sha'baniyah, it is one of those beautiful munajat that we have. Creator of these munajat is Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And Munajat Sha'baniyah is one of those du'as that have been reported by every single imam. So we don't have anything that has been reported by, like Hadith Silsilatul Dhahab, which ends to the Almighty. This Munajat Sha'baniyah is from all of the imams. Every imam has reported. It's beautiful. In Munajat Sha'baniyah, Amir al-Mu'mineen and all the imams, it is an all seasons munajat, not only for Sha'ban. They say that whenever you feel like you want to get connected to the Almighty Allah, the best munajat is Munajat Sha'baniyah. You can recite whenever you want. Adab is, it teaches us to approach the Almighty Allah in a very logical and a very beautiful way. And the phrases also that we have in Munajat Sha'baniyah, they are amazing. For example, it starts saying that Ilahi wasma du'ai idha da'awtuk, wasma nidai idha nadaytuk, and then says waqbil alayya idha najaytuk. 3 things. Dua is mentioned, nida is mentioned, najwa is also mentioned. So it's 3 ways we can approach Allah. One is najwa, means whisper within myself, like these munajat khamsata ashar in mafatih. So it is whispered prayers within yourself. Dua means you pray, you call upon the Almighty Allah. Nida means you yell, you shout, you call out loud. So which one is it? Dua, munajat or nida? In one of the ahadith that we have from Prophet Musa alayhi salam, now this is being reported from Abu Hamza Thimali, from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, says, قال مكتوب في التوراة التي لم تغير. This is Abu Hamza Somali, this is 1200 years ago. He says there's a version of Torah which hasn't been tampered yet. In there, this hadith is mentioned that سأل ربه, Prophet Musa سأل ربه فقال يا رب أقريب أنت مني فأناجيك. Are you close to me so I can whisper? أم بعيد فأناديك, or you are away from me that I have to call out loud. فأوحى الله عز وجل إليه يا موسى أنا جليس من ذكرني. I am by that person who is seated next to me. He's sitting. جليس من ذكرني. Whoever remembers me, I am with him. فقال موسى فمن في سترك يوم لا ستر إلا سترك. Says on the day of judgment when there is not going to be any protection, any cover, who will be in your cover? فقال الذين يذكرونني فأذكرهم. Whoever remembers me, I remember him. In Quran, we've got these amazing ayat. It says, "Ud'uni astajib lakum." You call upon me, I will answer your call. Or says, "Unsuruni ansurkum." You help me, I will help you. Uzkuruni azkurkum. You remember me, I will remember you. So it is a to and fro connection that we have. You remember, he remembers. You call, he replies. You raise your hands, he responds. In du'as also, we have amazing teachings from the Ma'asumin alayhimus salam, that why do you raise your hand when it is du'a? Like qunut, you raise your hands and you pray. Here when Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam was asked, he says the reason why you raise your hand, and after raising your hands, you rub it onto your face. Why? Because this hand of yours is a tool, is a means that got to the Almighty Allah, and it attracted the favors and the barakat, the mercy of the Almighty Allah. And now when it has sought that mercy, you have to rub it onto your face. That is the teaching. Or elsewhere we do see that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, in his seerah, when he gives money to someone to help, he kisses his hand immediately, or he smells his hand after that. The reporter, he says, I asked Imam, why did you kiss your hand? Imam says, because this hand got the tawfiq to help someone. In return, du'as and favors and acceptance from the Almighty Allah dropped onto this hand. So this hand is a special tool now. I need to kiss it. I need to smell it because it got connected to the divine mercy and forgiveness of Allah. أَلَمْ يَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ يَقْبَلُ التَّوْبَةَ عَنْ عِبَادِهِ وَيَأْخُذُ الصَّدَقَاتِ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. So even when you want to give sadaqah to someone, give it in hiding so that no one finds out. Hadith says, you give with your right hand, your left hand also is unaware of what the right hand has done. So that way, acceptance is beautiful, reward is immense, acceptance from Allah is also there. Now this was Munajat Shabaniyah. And then Imam says, فَقَدْ حَرَبْتُ إِلَيْكَ وَوَقَفْتُ بَيْنَ يَدَيْكَ مُسْتَكِينًا لَكَ مُتَضَرَّعًا إِلَيْكَ رَاجِيًا لِمَا لَدَيْكَ الثَّوَابِ. Now, in the month of Rajab, the dua that we recited every single day, يَا مَنْ أَرْجُوهُ لِكُلِّ خَيْرٍ وَآمَنُوا سَخَطَهُ عِنْدَ كُلِّ شَرٍ. In that dua of the month of Rajab, the recipients of this dua addressed to those who seek, Ya man sa'alah, man lam yas'alhu, wa man lam ya'rifhu. So there are three types of people who don't know God, who ask from God, and there are those who do not ask from Allah. Here, Allah responds to all three of them. Someone who doesn't know Him, He responds. Someone who asks, He responds. Someone who does not ask Him, He still responds to them. That is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and the beauty of approaching Him in every need. مُتَضَرَّعًا إِلَيْكَ رَاجِيًا لِمَا لَدَيْكَ الثَّوَابِ. Now, that what we do, it is nothing compared to the favors and the grace of the Almighty Allah. One of the Urafa of Bani Israel, he was living and he says that I don't need to thank the Almighty because I don't do anything. The only thing that I consume from the rizq of Allah is an apple, nothing else. I don't eat anything else, it's only the apple. One day in that mukashafa, an angel comes and shows him that one apple that you eat, the investment behind that consumption of that one apple is such massive. You need the sun, you need the heat, you need the light, you need the dust, you need all of these different seasons and all year round for the tree to grow, for it to bear fruit, and that fruit for you to consume. And when he gives him an invoice which is in billions, he knocks down, he faints. That he says, Allah, forgive me, I was wrong. So blessings that are given to us, they are huge, massive, immense. For that, shukr is required. For that, tawbah is required. And it is the month of tawbah. We need to come back to our senses. All of this that is being said is a lesson to myself first, and to you a reminder. Then says, Ilahi a'udhu bika min ghadabik wa hulul sakhatik. Ilahi in kuntu ghayru musta'hilan li rahmatik فأنت أهل أن تجود علي بفضل سعتك. إلهي كأني بنفسي واقفة بين يديك وقد أظلها حسن توكلي عليك. On the day of judgment, a person will be brought to the presence of Allah. Allah says to him, why did you sin? Why did you do wrong? He lowers his head. And then he says, God, I had hope in your mercy. Allah says, because of that hope that you had in me, I forgive you. So the weight of an individual depends on the amount of hope he has in the existence of Allah. That is why we see in Quran, one of the major sins is ya'as. لا تيأسوا برحمة الله. لا تيأسوا من رحمة الله. That is, you don't lose hope from the mercy of Allah. That is the greatest of sins. In Rajab, we were taught to have hope in Allah. In Sha'ban, we are taught to have hope in Allah. And in the month of Ramadan, that immense mercy of Allah is open before everyone, and He forgives. He forgives so much. In that Hadith al-Qudsi says that on the night of the first of Ramadan al-Mubarak, Allah forgives everyone, whosoever has done whatever he has done. Then says that that is that immense mercy of Allah Jalla wa'ala, how much He loves His creation and how much He forgives. Now, in this Munajat Sha'baniyah, Imam, he teaches us to speak to Allah logically. What is that? Says, Ilahi, in akhaztani bijurmi akhaztuka bi'afwik. God, if you hold me for the wrong that I have done, I will hold you with that forgiveness and afu of yours. That I believe in God who forgives, who has mercy, who has compassion. وَإِنْ أَخَذْتَنِي بِذُنُوبِي أَخَذْتُكَ بِمَغْفِرَتِكَ. If you hold me for the sins I have done, I will hold you for your maghfirah. وَإِنْ أَدْخَلْتَنِ النَّارِ أَعْلَمْتُ أَهْلَهَا أَنِّي أُحِبُّكَ. And if you put me in the hellfire, I will inform the dwellers of the hell that I loved God. So when you speak to Allah in that beautiful way, that is the adab taught to us, by the Imams alayhim assalam. And you won't find these beautiful teachings anywhere else in such beautiful logical way. Ilahi, an abdun wabnu abdik, qa'imun bayna yadayk, mutawassilun bikaramika ilayk. Ilahi, until the end. Or elsewhere in the same munajat, says, Ilahi in da'ani ila nar azimu iqabik, faqad da'ani ila al-jannati jazilu thawabik. So there is an invitation to the hell that you will punish. At the same time, that invitation to the hell is, heaven is also open. Ilahi, falaka as'al wa ilayka abtahil wa as'aluka an tusalli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Sallallahu Muhammad. وأن تجعلني ممن يديم ذكرك ولا ينقص عهدك. So Allah, make it as such that I be among those who remember you a lot. So this dhikr, it is important. In this month of Sha'ban, we learn how to remember the Almighty. Now this dhikr is dhikr lisani. You are remembering the Almighty with your tongue. We have dhikr qalbi, that is you remember the Almighty in your heart. And then you've got dhikr amali, that is you remember Him in your actions. Remembering Allah in actions is in salat, in prayers, in fast. Now this nonsense that we hear a lot today, that dilatun pak bashe, your heart has to be pure. If your heart is good, it's okay, then you don't need to pray. All that is rubbish, all that is nonsense. Prayers, ruku, sajda, fasting is required. Without prayers, deen is incomplete. You look into Rasulullah, his seerah, his life on the 27th of Rajab, when he is appointed as officially as the Prophet, he is worshipping, not for that day, for 40 days. He is fasting, he is praying, he is in the Ghar Hira. Over there, Jibreel descends when Rasulullah is occupied in worship. Or when the Muslims were in sanctions for 3 years in Shaykh Abi Talib, they were suffering, they were struggling, they had no food, nothing to drink, no one selling, no one buying, no merchandise, nothing whatsoever. Lady Khadija, the richest tycoon of the Arabian Peninsula, she also, all her wealth, it finished, nothing remaining. In those days, Ta'if was a superpower. A delegation comes from Ta'if to Rasulullah. They say that we will help you, the Muslims, we will support you, we will fund you, we will defend you, we will provide all the ammunition, whatever you want, we will be there. Muslims who were standing around Rasulullah, they got happy that Rasulullah, he will accept and all our problems will be solved. Now they say that we will be there for you, for everything you want, only one condition, that you, the Prophet, must not invite us towards prayers, towards ruku, towards sajda. The Muslims who were with Rasulullah, they thought that Rasulullah will accept. Rasulullah, his head was lowered. He raises his head. He speaks, says, La khayra fi deenan, la ruku'a fihi wa la sujood. A religion that doesn't have sajda and ruku is of no use. So that invitation of that delegation was denied and rejected. And it was after the denial and rejecting of that support that comes from that superpower, Muslims, they prospered. Allah opened all the doors of His mercy on them. Min haythu la yahtasib. That we have in Quran in Surah Talaq, Ayah 2, مَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. So it is in these dead ends. Now this question is asked a lot. They say, now we are suffering, we don't have any halal to eat, we can go for haram because Allah allows. Allah never allows it. Halal is halal until the day of judgment. Haram also is haram until the day of judgment. So in that haram, Allah is testing me whether I go to that haram or not. If I don't go, He opens the doors of His mercy and all that what He has to begin. Now, we talked about dua. It is how Allah in this month, He is asking us how He is teaching us how we should get connected to the Almighty. Sometimes du'as, they are not accepted. This is also wrong to say that du'as are not being accepted. When Allah says, "Ud'uni astajib lakum," you call upon me, I will definitely astajib lakum, will respond to your call. It means that Allah says, you just ask, I will answer. If du'as are not being accepted, that is my wrong understanding. Du'as are accepted. All the time they are accepted. Maybe the right time is not now for me for that dua to be accepted. Maybe a little bit later. Maybe in the next generation. Maybe generations to come. Marhum Allama Tabatabai Rahmatullah Alayh, the author of Tafsir al-Mizan, he says that I was studying in Najaf and I never took Shahriya, the scholarship from the Hawza. My funds used to come for me from Tabriz, from the farms that were left behind from my father. So there was a war between Iran and Iraq, and there were no digital money transfers. It was physical money that people used to send and he used to receive in Najaf. He says that because of this war, there were no one coming, and my funds also, they stopped. For months and months, I was young, I just got married, I had my first child, struggling, I don't have funds. I borrowed so much money from others, and then when I was getting hand to mouth, I started selling my books, my belongings, so that I can survive. And one day, when I was stuck, I opened the door of my house. I looked at the dome of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and I said, Ya Ali, I am your guest here. I've come to study. And you can't study this way that I am in, the way that I am struggling. That is not possible. Ya Ali, you do something. He says that he had not closed the door of his house, that someone knocked, gave me an envelope full of money, and said to me, this money is going to be sufficient for you as long as you are here in Najaf and until you return back to Iran. And on the envelope also the name of the person who is delivering this money was written. He said, I got so happy at seeing that fund, I didn't even ask who he was. And I just took the money, thanked him, and I sat. And after returning to Tabriz, to Iran, after his studies, he says that my habit was to visit the graveyard twice weekly. Every 2 weeks, every week 2 times, I used to come and just recite Fatihas on the graveyard, on the graves. He says, I come across a grave. The person who was buried there was buried 300 years ago. I saw the grave, an old grave with all the details of who he was mentioned on it, and I was reminded of that envelope that was given to me in Najaf. It's the same person whose name is written on this envelope who was buried 300 years ago. Du'as, they are never rejected. Du'as are never returned. When Allah in Quran says, Ud'uni astajib lakum, you call upon me, astajib lakum, we say, Sadaqallahu al-Aliyyul Azim. That is, He speaks the truth. Allah, He never lies. So whatever He says is haqq. So dua also is never returned. Now sometimes, for what we think that dua is not being accepted or dua is being delayed, why? Again, because it's the birthday of Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam. Imam al-Sajjad, in one of his du'as, in Dua Abu Hamza, he says, why du'as are not accepted? He says, لَعَلَّكَ عَنْ بَابِكَ تَرَدْتَنِي وَعَنْ خِدْمَتِكَ نَحَيْتَنِي. Says, maybe you have ousted me from your door. You're not accepting me. That's why dua acceptance is delayed. أو لعلك رأيتني مستخفا بحقك. That I am not protecting, not safeguarding your rights. That's why du'as, they are being delayed. أو لعلك رأيتني مغرضا عنك. I've turned away from you. Maybe that is the reason. Someone called me a few months ago from one of these eastern cities here. They called me and they said, can you please come? We've got problems at home. You can come and recite some dua and just blow it so that the problems, they are eased. They said that we'll send you a business class ticket. We'll send you a day ticket so you can return back. Just come and see and recite something and go. I asked them, do you say your prayers? No, prayers we don't do. Prayers if you don't do, then you have to expect balas to fall down on you. Because prayers, they taruddul bala, all the balas, they are repelled by prayers. So it's not by just blowing and reciting some things, things will be eased. With prayers of mu'mineen, balas from those who are not mu'min, they are removed. Allah's mercy descends on places where mu'mineen live. So if mu'mineen are there in a town, because of the presence of mu'mineen, others who do not believe in Allah, they are safe because of the presence of mu'mineen. That is what Allah has taught us. Says that in a congregation, if you ask for du'as and they say Ameen, by the Ameen of one person, du'as of those who have nothing to do with prayers also, they are granted. That is the presence and the beauty of mu'mineen. أَوْ لَعَلَّكَ وَجَدْتَنِي فِي مَقَامِ الْكَاذِبِينَ وَفَرَّفَزْتَنِي. Maybe you saw me that I am one of those deniers, one of those who reject, one of those who are liars, as a result of which you ousted me. أو لعلك فقدتني من مجالس العلماء فخذلتني. Or that you see me that I haven't been in the majalis of ulama and away from them, that's why. Now, Imam, he teaches us how to approach Allah in Munajat Shabaniya in a different way. Here Imam Sajjad, it's his birthday also, he teaches us in a different way, that you stand before the Almighty. You present yourself in a way very humble, very weak. You present yourself. In the seerah of Imam Khomeini rahmatullah alayh, his son Sayyid Ahmad, he says that when Imam Khomeini, he stood to say his night prayers, his nocturnal prayers, he used to cry so much that a handkerchief or a tissue wasn't enough. He used to have a towel to dry his tears that were shedding from his eyes. That is that ma'rifah, that kamal of ma'rifah that he has, that he weeps. That is how mu'mineen also have to approach the Almighty Allah, call upon Him, cry before Him, plead Him. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says that, Sayyidi, ana as-sagheer alladhi rabbaytah. I am that little one who you raised me, who you nurtured me. وَأَنَا الْجَاهِلُ الَّذِي عَلَّمْتَهُ. I was ignorant, you taught me. وَأَنَا الضَّالُّ الَّذِي هَدَيْتَهُ. I was lost, you found the way for me. أَنَا الْوَضِيعُ الَّذِي رَفَعْتَهُ. I was that fallen, you helped me, you made me rise. وَأَنَا الْجَائِعُ الَّذِي أَشْبَعْتَهُ. I was that thirsty who you quenched. Now all of this beautiful way, how we present ourselves before the Almighty. Or in easy words, أنا العبد الذي لا أملك لنفسي نفعا ولا ضرا ولا موتا ولا حياة ولا نشورا. God, I am that one who doesn't have anything, and I have sought you who is everything. And when someone who is nothing, he seeks the Almighty who is everything, that is where the mercy of Allah, the connection is created, and du'as, they are granted. It is the month of dua, and the best of dua is to get the du'as of the Ahlul Bayt. We say iltimas dua, that Allah, please pray for me. In the seerah of Rasulullah, he teaches us that you ask Amirul Mu'mineen to pray for you. Why? Because du'as of Amirul Mu'mineen, they are always granted, always accepted. One of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam is Bara. Bara, in one of these battles, Rasulullah had sent Amirul Mu'mineen with a group of his companions with Amirul Mu'mineen. And there, a Jewish lady, she brought some meat, some flesh she had, and comes and says to Rasulullah that I had vowed that if you return safe from the battle, I will slaughter a sheep and I will bring the shoulder, because Rasulullah loved the shoulder part of the sheep. Says, I have barbecued it and it's for you. Now when they present that meat on the table, Rasulullah is present, Amirul Mu'mineen is present, Ashab, they are present. Bara, the companion, what he does is, he steps ahead and he takes a bit of that flesh and he eats first. Amirul Mu'mineen, he stopped him. He says, Bara, don't do that. He says, yeah, why ya Ali, ma abkhalakya? Why are you being so tight-fisted? Amirul Mu'mineen says that it's not being bakhil. We are in the presence of Rasulullah. La tuqaddimu bayna yaday Allah wa Rasul. Says you do not go ahead of Rasulullah. May that be in eating, may that be in drinking, may that be in prayers, may that be in talk, may that be in walk. Rasulullah has to be first all the time. Here Bara says, I don't think that should be that important. And then it so happened that Bara, he ate that flesh, he shivered, he shook, and he died. Now, Rasulullah is asked to offer prayers on Bara. Rasulullah says, I will not, because he has mocked Amirul Mu'mineen. Amirul Mu'mineen comes and says, Ya Rasulullah, I forgive him. And then Amirul Rasulullah says, because you forgave him, he died. Had you not forgiven him, his death was there. At the same time, habte amal, all of his actions, whatever he had done good throughout his life, all of that would have been lost if he was serious in what he said to you. Now, here Rasulullah says to that woman, why did you do that? Why did you poison this? Why did you bring me poisonous flesh, meat? She says, because of what you did in the battles, and you killed my father, my uncles, my brothers, all of my relatives, all the men in my family were killed by you. And I said, that is the best way how I can avenge and take my revenge from you. Like every other king and royalty, if you are one of them, you will be killed. If you are a prophet, you will be saved. Now Rasulullah, what he does is, he asks Amirul Mu'mineen to go and bring 10 of the best of the ashab. They were brought to the presence of Rasulullah. And now Rasulullah eats the flesh that was poisoned and asks the 10 of the ashab to eat. All of them ate. Now says to that lock up this lady, and she's arrested and taken in the lockup. And the next day Rasulullah says, bring that woman. They bring the woman and says that, were we not the ones who ate that poisonous flesh? She says yes, and then says, how come all of you are alive? Only Bara died. Rasulullah, when he wanted to eat, he said, Bismillah al-Shafi, Bismillah al-Kafi, Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay, wala da'un fil ardi wala fil sama' wa huwa as-sami'ul alim. He ate, and Allah reversed that poisonous effect. That is the effect of obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, Amir al-Mu'mineen forgives Burra and says, Rahimakallah, Ya Burra. فَلَقَدْ كُنْتَ صَوَّامًا قَوَّامًا وَلَقَدْ مِتَّ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَنْتُمْ يَا أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ الْبُرَاء. Rasulullah, when he comes to the family of Burra to condole, he doesn't say condolences to you. Says, أَنْتُمْ يَا أَوْلِيَاءَ الْبُرَاء بِالتَّهْنِيَةِ أَوْلَى مِنْكُمْ بِالتَّعْزِيَةِ. You need to be greeted for what has happened. Although Burra, he died, but with the dua of Amir al-Mu'mineen, he sought the highest of ranks in the hereafter and has access to every point that he wants in the akhirah. And then Rasulullah says, فَتَعَرَّذُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ لِلدُّعَاءِ عَلِيًّا لَكُمْ وَلَا تَتَعَرَّذُوا لِلدُّعَاءِ عَلَيْكُمْ. Says, do something that Amir al-Mu'mineen, he prays for you. Now, the easy way how to get to the du'as of Amir al-Mu'mineen, because it's a group of Mu'mineen, we serve our families, we do all this good throughout the day. Niyat should be that I am serving my family. Why? Because they are a franchise of Amir al-Mu'mineen. I'm serving them. That way, Amir al-Mu'mineen also will pray for you. Whatever is done for Mu'mineen or even for non-Mu'mineen, if it is a presentation of deen, presentation of iman and actions, dua of Amir al-Mu'mineen is also definite, is also certain. So, فإن الدعاء فإن من دعا عليه أهلكه الله ولو كانت حسناته عدد ما خلق الله كما أن من دعا له أسعده الله ولو كانت سيئاته بعدد ما خلق الله. If someone had wronged as much as whatever Allah has created, that much of a wrong, if it was in the action report of an individual, and Amir al-Mu'mineen prays for him, all of that will be removed. That is the barakat of being connected and bonded to the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. And in this month of Sha'ban, that is what is being taught to us. That somehow be connected to the Ahlul Bayt and in all this beautiful way and teachings that we have. That is dua, and dua also in different forms and formats. Dua munajat Sha'baniyya is one of the ways how you can get to the Almighty Allah Jalla wa Ala. It is also the birthday of Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam. Imam al-Sajjad also, he is living at a time when all the enemies, band A criminals are there. And Imam al-Sajjad also being the son of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he is not given any podiums, any presentations, any way to lead gatherings, congregations, prayers, nothing whatsoever. Why? Because he is the son of Imam Hussain. Imam al-Sajjad, he has tafsir lessons at home. He speaks out loud in his home. People, they used to stand outside in the streets of Medina and listen to what Imam al-Sajjad is saying in his durus. Now, Imam al-Sajjad, when he comes to perform Hajj, he is among those A'imma who has performed the most maximum number of Hajj, and all bare feet. He walks to Hajj. In one of these Hajj that Imam comes to Masjid al-Haram, there this Mal'oon Ibn Hisham, he also comes to perform his Hajj. Now people, that mahabbat that Allah has given to the Ahlul Bayt resulted in people clustering and gathering around Imam al-Sajjad. Ibn Hisham, he sees that no one is coming to him, everyone is clustering around Imam al-Sajjad. Farazdaq, this poet, famous poet of the Ahlul Bayt, he was by Hisham. Hisham says, who is that? And why is everyone clustering around him? Farazdaq, he knew that he is lying. He knows who he is. Says, you don't know him? هَذَا الَّذِي تَعْرِفُ الْبَطْحَاءَ وَتْأَتَهُ والبيت يعرفه والحل والحرم. هذا ابن عباد الله كلهم، هذا التقي النقي الطاهر العلم. إذا رأته قريش قال قائلها إلى مكارم هذا ينتهي الكرم. That is Imam Sajjad alayhi salam defined in that beautiful qasida of Farazdam. إلهي بحق الزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها 10 times. يا الله 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 يا الله. اللهم أحينا حياة محمد وآل محمد وأمتنا ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة محمد وآل محمد وفي الآخرة شفاعة محمد وآل محمد وعجل في فرج محمد وآل محمد. صلوات آمين. محمد محمد. أحسنتم. تفضل الله. الله يخشى. يا صاحب
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله، الصلاة والسلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدتي ومولاتي فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا أبا محمد الحسن بن علي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا يجعل آخر العهد مني لزيارتك. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. والصلاة والسلام على الأئمة الهدى علي بن الحسين ومحمد الباقر الصادق وعلي بن موسى الرضا ومحمد الجواد وعلي الهادي والحسن العسكري والحجة القائم المهدي عجل الله تعالى وسلامه. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وقائدا وناصرا دليلا وعينا نصيرا ونجعله فيها طويلا وبركته ورحمته وخيرا. صلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
امروز اخبار دیدم که آقای قالیباف هم گفته که دیگه مذاکره بی مذاکره